Across the Serengeti plains, the air is heavy with anticipation. Clouds build in the distance, promising rain far to the north in Kenya's Masai Mara. That distant weather will green the savanna and draw life forward. Almost as if commanded by an ancient clock, a vast host begins to stir. More than 1 million blue-gray wildebeest rise from their grazing grounds and start to move. This is the Great Migration, one of Earth's most astonishing wildlife spectacles, a living river of animals driven by instinct, hunger, and the turning of the seasons. The herd stretches to the horizon. Shoulder to shoulder, the antelope thunder across sun-baked soil, their hooves drumming a low, relentless rhythm. Dust hangs in the air like a pale veil, caught in shafts of early light. With them travel zebra, topi, and Thompson's gazelle, each species benefiting from the collective vigilance and the sea of bodies that confuses predators. But safety is an illusion. Lions shadow the march, waiting for the weak or unwary. Hyenas watch from the cover of thorn scrub. Every step forward is bought at a price. For weeks they move steadily, grazing and marching, guided by the scent of fresh grass and the memory of past journeys. Calves barely 3 months old are swept along, their small legs pumping tirelessly to keep up with mothers who seldom pause. The old and the lame fall behind and vanish to the hunters of the plain. Yet the vast majority presses on until a barrier stops them cold. The Mara River. Before them lies a deep channel of churning brown water, swollen with seasonal rains and swift with hidden currents. It is no gentle river. Beneath the surface lurk the Nile crocodiles, reptiles older than the river itself, armored and patient. Some individuals are more than 5 meters long, weighing nearly half a ton. They have been waiting for this moment all year, fasting through lean months, their metabolism slow, conserving energy for this single season of plenty. The first wildebeest to arrive crowd the bank nervously. They know the danger. The smell of reptile oil hangs faintly on the breeze. Still, thirst and the collective pressure from behind are irresistible. One animal steps forward, then another. With a sudden surge, the herd begins to pour down the slope, hooves clattering on slick mud, plunging into the water with explosive splashes. Panic spreads like lightning. Thousands follow, driven less by choice than by the irresistible push of the multitude. Immediately the river comes alive. Massive tails whip from side to side as crocodiles launch from the depths. The water boils with violence. A great reptile surges upward, jaws agape, and clamps onto a wildebeest's flank. Another strikes from below, seizing a leg. The wildebeest kicks and twists, but the grip is unbreakable. A second crocodile latches onto its throat. The combined force drags the animal beneath, the muddy surface briefly settling before another eruption nearby. All around, similar dramas unfold. Some wildebeest are caught midstream and pulled under in seconds. Others make it halfway before a sudden explosion of water signals an attack from beneath. The crocodile's teeth, conical and interlocking, are designed not for slicing but for holding. With a violent roll, the infamous death roll, they spin, tearing flesh and opening deep wounds. In moments, stomach walls are ripped apart, or a neck is twisted until the windpipe collapses. The river becomes streaked with silt and scarlet foam. Yet the migration is relentless. For every animal lost, dozens more leap forward. Hooves churn through current and confusion. Calves bleat for their mothers, the cries sharp above the roar of water. Some are swept downstream and vanish. Others find purchase on half-submerged rocks and scramble to safety, trembling but alive. Zebras, bolder swimmers, break through with powerful strokes, creating eddies that help some wildebeest survive. Beneath the surface, crocodiles feast. They do not need to consume their kills immediately. Many wedge carcasses into underwater caves or beneath logs to soften before eating. Over the coming days they will feed at leisure, their bellies distended, able to go months before needing another meal. Fish, turtles, and scavenging birds also benefit. Nothing is wasted in this cycle. By late afternoon, the crossing slackens. The surviving wildebeest stand on the far bank, sides heaving, their coats streaked with mud and blood. They pause only briefly before moving on to the fresh grazing that drew them here. The dead and dying remain behind, claimed by crocodiles, vultures, and the current that carries some bodies far downstream to nourish countless unseen lives. This drama will repeat at multiple river fords over many days. Each crossing costs lives, tens of thousands in a single season, but ensures the survival of the species. The calves that reach the Mara will fatten on its rich grasses and, in time, join the next great southward march when the rains shift again. Those that never rise from the water still fulfill a role as energy transferred through the web of predators, scavengers, and the river itself. As the sun sets, the sounds of chaos give way to quiet. Hippos grunt in the shallows. Egrets and herons stalk along the banks, drawn by floating scraps. Overhead, vultures spiral lower, their wings catching the last orange light. The river seems peaceful once more, concealing the violence beneath, but the memory of the crossing lingers in every ripple. The Great Migration is at once brutal and life-affirming. It is a phenomenon shaped by ancient climate rhythms and the simple need for food. Wildebeest, crocodile, vulture, even the grass itself, each is bound to the pulse of rain and river. There is no malice in the hunt, no cruelty in the kill, only survival, written in mud, water, and blood, and played out across the endless East African plains. And so the herd continues northward, diminished yet undaunted, a living tide on the move. When the southern rains return months from now, they will turn back, retracing the same perilous route. Generation after generation, this epic journey endures, a reminder of the raw power of nature and the ancient laws that govern life and death in the wild.